Hello, hello. Well, I am live and I'm just going to make sure I've got everything set up here while I wait for people to come in. And then we'll do a sound check. Ooh. Oh, I see somebody's coming in. Good job. Make sure I got my stuff in order. Whew, and it is just 11 o'clock, so we're on time. Yay. Oh, okay. I'll do some breathing too. Hi, Jessica. Hello and welcome. Oh, hi, Emily. Oh, hi, Christina. Yay. I'm going to do my best today. I've been doing actually really good lately. I've been up and about. Hi, Mario. Oh, I've been thinking about you for the last 2 days. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Christina. I have a new microphone. I bought that snowball one a few weeks ago, and I've tested it out. Yes. Hi, beautiful Emily. Thank you. Woo. So I'm just going to breathe for a couple of seconds here. I was so confident that I wasn't even doing any notes until yesterday, so I figured I'm going to wing it. I'll update you guys on what I've been through in the last few months since I did the last collab back in June when we did the summer workshops with Christina. My mind has gotten better. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to light a candle first, just to settle the energy, and I do that before we do circles and that bring in everybody. So where's my lighter? All right, and today I'm using, what are you? Green tea and honey, and oh my God, this makes this house smell beautiful all the way upstairs. So I am just going to light that one. Oh God, just don't burn my nose. That is so nice. And I've got a couple of crystals with me to calm me down. I was doing good up until about 20 minutes ago. And I shouldn't be nervous anymore doing these. So I just wait for a few more to come in. And I have some stuff for you at the end of today's workshop that I hope everybody will find helpful. I'm going to go over a few things. I'll tell my story. I'll introduce myself in a couple of seconds, I guess, here. And at the end, if I remember, I'm going to pull a card for us, too. Okay, so I think we're good. Okay, I'm just going to sit here for a second. Everybody take a deep breath in and inhale with me. Breathe in. Bring it all the way in. Down through your chest. Down through your stomach, down to the floor. And then breathe it back out, all the way up again. And do it again. Breathe in again. And out. And just sit with that for a second. All right. And we're good. All right, you guys. So today my topic, my workshop is easing your grief through the holidays while honoring your dearly departed. There's so many ways to do this, and I've just been thinking about this all summer because I knew we were going to have a collab coming up and something to do with Christmas. So I've been working on it all summer. First, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Pamela Jones. Some of you may know me as Oceana Power on the internet and on the hotlines and my radio show. I am an energy medium and an angelic healer. I also am the host of Energetically Speaking with Pamela Jones, and you'll be happy to know that I have renewed, not a contract, renewed my thing with Blog Talk Radio. So I will be getting back on there. It's time to do it again, whatever. I think I've had enough of a rest for now. I'm also a quantum touch healer. I'm certified in Reiki and certified in whole body relaxation massage. And I've got so many other certificates that, you know, it's all got to do with energy, because really all modalities really come down to your intuition and energy, and they just all combine. So whatever you want to call yourself, whatever courses you want to take, really attention, and that's what I have found. And it's so cool to work with all the different modalities. And I've been doing this now, 10 years. I can't believe it's been like 10 years. I just get so into all the energy stuff. It always fascinates me. And I also help people to realize they aren't the only ones going through a drama or a crisis, and I help them to help themselves get through this time of their lives by providing a variety of readings using different tools of divination and counseling, you know, whether it be the tarot. Sometimes just even massage helps, just that, you know, one-to-one and the exchange of the energy helps bring us up and through whatever energy we're going through. Like, you know, it could be negative or whatever. Sometimes it could be, you know, really high energy way up here, and, you know, sometimes it just needs to be brought down and balanced out. So even massage is great for that. And I want to tell you that the people that I help are people that want to help themselves and have a desire to act on helping themselves, and have want to gain a great knowledge in self-help. So basically that's me. And if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know that like I said, I'm so into energy in that. And the last few months, basically, I've been, I want to say, I guess, looking at my shadow side, because we're not all love and light all the time, right? You know, usually when I get on here and do workshops, I'm like flying way up here and that, and I get all giggly and stuff, and you know, it helps me a lot. I have a lot of fun doing these and doing the radio show and that. Right now, I am offering sistership circles. That's what I'm involved in, and psychic and mediumship circles. And plus, of course, my tarot and oracle readings and energy readings. Just slowly getting back into the swing of all of that, because I've actually just taken time out for me. Finally have taken time out for me this past, oh my God, since February. 10 months now, maybe 9 months. Some of you know, I think a lot of you probably know, I've been going through grief myself. My father passed away at the end of February, and I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I have been doing really good in the last probably 10 days physically, because also I had gallbladder surgery in February, so that I could get my energy back to help my father and look after him, because he was really sick. And that he had cancer, we found out the year before. And I have been taking care of him for about, I guess, 6-8 years. Plus, of course, I've got now teenagers at home, and then me. So now I understand sandwich generation, okay? I really understand that. Plus, I also looked after his wife, helped my dad with his wife before she passed with cancer. So I've been go for at least 8 years. Plus, you guys know, or if you don't know, I've got 6 kids and grandkids, okay? So, I'm all over the place. So this summer, I shut down on purpose. I just took time out for me and let it be. I don't even know, though. I still had to work some summer jobs that I had committed to last winter. I don't even know how the heck I got there. I don't know how I got through the day. But I did, okay? I think that grief actually protects you, I've learned. You go through a brain fog. You think you're losing your mind, but actually I've learned, you know what? The brain fog is there to help you and to help you heal and to protect you. It really is. I just really can't even say anymore. I finally have come through the brain fog probably the last, I don't know, maybe about 3 weeks now. Plus, I've also been going through, I've had bulging discs and that for about 2 years, and I wasn't even able to walk. I was actually paralyzed almost not quite 2 years ago. That I can say this now, I actually fell off my bed. I actually rolled off. It took me 24 hours just to keep moving an inch, just to get off my bed, to get to the bathroom. And I finally was getting close enough to do it. I rolled off the floor. I had no feeling from the waist down. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And finally, I found out that it was bulging discs. It's kind of like sciatica, but way worse. That the discs bulge and they protrude and they hit the nerves that connect to different areas of your body. So each place in your spine, starting at the back of your head, the neck and that, all the way down, they actually affect different organs. And this one was cutting off my legs and all the way down to my toes. So I had to lie there for literally, thank God it was only 2 hours, waited for my kids to wake up so I could yell out to them to come and help me and not to get up. And I'm going, please be the day they hear me and get up for school. And my daughter did. And then finally I told her, I says, you shouldn't have to help me, call an ambulance. This is what they get paid for. So they came, they got me, took me to the hospital, and I had just had CAT scan a few days beforehand. So that showed up on the computer system that they have in our health region here. So everybody can see like your tests and different things or whatever, what you've been in the hospital for. And thank God it said I had bulging discs. And the doctor that I had seen said I needed surgery, emergency surgery. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I have enough shit on my plate, right? You're like, no. But I've since learned, after I've done an MRI about a year ago, and finally, I finally broke down just over a month ago and went up to see the specialist because my doctor said I need surgery. And I basically told him off. And I said, I got 95% better and I will do it again. You don't know me. And yeah. So I have now since learned that the specialist says I don't need surgery. It's not as bad as that. And I've learned that as long as I keep calm down and I don't get pissed off, because I've actually caught myself growling a couple of years ago. So when I hold in stuff, not a good thing. So I've been working with that all summer because after my father passed away, I'm also the executor of his estate, and some things have kind of gone sideways. I'm going to say sideways, okay, with it for the time being. So I've got to wait some stuff out. So the only thing I could do, everything else that I've realized, and I'm learning it the hard way, everything out there outside of us is beyond our control. And I've really learned this the hard way, but it's been a blessing. So whenever you're going through pain of any sort, physical, mental, emotional, and any of that, it really is there for a reason. And I know I've said it before, that when we go through something, sometimes, well, a lot of times, we have to go through it several times, because every time we come back to it, there's another lesson that we have to learn, that we didn't learn yet. We need another perspective maybe on it. The lesson isn't complete. So I think I know why that this summer, my back has gotten so bad. It was good most of the summer. It was painful in that I could still drive. I don't know how I worked. I really don't, because my kids really weren't helping much, and I was getting mad with them and mad with everything else. And finally, come end of September, when the jobs were done, I'm like, that's it. I lied down and I've been in bed since I think end of September. I've been doing decompression therapies, which is really cool. Oh my God. I gotta tell you about this one quickly. They put you on this, like a massage table, and they put a belt around just under your rib cage and one just above your pelvis. And basically they stretch you apart. But after the first time you go, it's like, oh my God. I know I've pushed on here like I feel like dancing, because it's so cool. It really stretches you out. And basically, since my dad has passed away, and even the last couple of years, but mostly the last few months, I've really just gone into the fetal position with all the things that I've got to deal with. And, I think everything for the last several years, I've been giving away my energy in that, but it's because I had to, but because I wanted to. And I just, the healthcare system up here, you guys think Canadians have great healthcare system? Yeah, in a lot of ways it is. But when you're dealing with elderly people or people that are sick, and at home, forget it. Just forget it. And I'm not even going to go on that rant, because I'm saving that one. I got to heal myself first, because before I go and make some letters and stuff like that up. I just kept giving away, like, you know, and expending. And my dad always said thank you and that. And I think he felt like he was a burden, and I get overwhelmed if I'm snapping at you and that and at the kids. So basically, I've been in a fetal position, blankets over me and all huddled up. And that is not good for your back or whatever. And staying in bed for long periods of time. Really, the worst thing ever. I know sometimes I post on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm in bed reading, because I am. That's my hiding place. And that nobody's bugging me. Worst thing to do. The thing is, I've been starting to stretch out slowly and relax. And I think it must have been about 3 weeks ago, one of the physio appointments, it was actually the kinesiologist that I went to. She finally put this heating pad, and it's a moisture heating pad. She put it on the right place on my back, actually up higher between my shoulder blades. And they always tell me, I'll go to sleep, have a rest, whatever. Yeah. Well, this time I actually did. I fell asleep twice, and everything in my body just went poof, like that. Like, I just relaxed. And my back, like lower back, is where it is. I've got my Dr. Ho belt on. I'm a Ho. I can actually say I'm a Ho in a good way, okay? Ho follower. These belts work, okay? They've got the air pressure thing in them to decompress your back. Whatever she did, it was just the right thing that day. So for the last probably about 10, 12 days, I've been up and about and around in that. Plus, I've got this astragalus tea. I know I posted on somebody else's thing, which is great for healing and waking you up. It's better than coffee, I'll tell you. But yeah, so I'm doing better that way. And a few weeks ago, actually probably right around that time, my attitude started getting better in that. So that was a help, because when you've got nerve pain, you can't think of anything else. I so understand why people, when they're in pain, that they can't function. I get it, but I had to relax, let everything else go, because right now I've got to take care of me. So when you guys, you know, when you're going through grief, you got to take care of you. You've got to go through the emotions and that. It's been a trip. I'll tell you. I want to actually, I see there's lots of comments on here. Wow, there's like 30 of them. So hang on just a sec while I scroll through. Oh, yes. Thank you, Christina. Like my background design. Actually, I was going to put my green screen up or try and find some Christmas material, but I have so much material. It is jammed in the closet. It's probably at the bottom of it. Forget it. I was going to do the green screen and do something later, but I wanted to show you guys this right here. My aunt and her husband saw this a few months ago. Maybe I'm out of the way. And she got that for me back about July. They saw it in the store and they just thought that was perfect for me. So it's been hanging up behind me now. Fix that. Yes, Christina, awesome. You deserve it. Thank you. What else we got up here? I have new equipment today and different things going on. So, oops. Trying to get this mouse to work. Christina, I love when you wing it. Yeah. Oh boy, I was starting to do a little bit of freaking out last night. I didn't get to sleep till 2 o'clock. Oh God. And I've just been like cool as a cucumber this time around. I went, well, I can do this. But I really wanted to share my story. Of course, you know, I've got stories for everything. I don't know where to start if I write a book. I swear I should. Oops. Okay, this doesn't want to work with me. Oh, yes. Thank you, Christina. Congrats on the renewal. Needed that crazy morning. Okay. Oh, this just doesn't want to go down. Well, I will try and catch up with that in a little bit. Oh, hold on. Oops. Oh, Emily, you're crying over there. Okay, I don't want you to cry. Well, you can cry. It's I can't see you. Nobody can see you, so that's okay. Yeah, Christine, you were really worried about me. Yeah, I've not had too many people check in on me, but I'm just taking care of me. And my attitude basically has been, screw you, I'm looking after me. Don't bother me. I just, even my kids, they keep yelling at me, like, why don't you be a mom? Why don't you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Really? Well, you seem to be doing pretty good on your own. Let me have my time. I've looked after you and your brothers 30 years now. I'm going to have 5 minutes to meet. I don't care. Mario, yes. Tell them, sister. Yeah, I've got a lot to tell the government about how they handle people in and out of, it's not the retirement homes, you know, where they just send people off to live out their days. Like, it's not impressive. It makes me sick. And I actually have this wonderful lady. I'm going to give a shout out for the Desert Valley Hospice Society. I got a call from them a week after my father passed away, and I thought, really? Somebody's going to phone to tell me, like, they're finally going to get someone to come into the house to help clean or to sit with him. I was going to say, really a little late, but actually this lady was actually calling for me. And it's funny because I found her card in my pocket because she's the one I talked to at a fair just 2-3 weeks before Dad passed away. That it was the same lady that ended up phoning me. And she's wonderful. And I know she's into energy stuff because when she talks to me, she really pulls me out of stuff. And the training that they must have, I don't know what it is, but she has helped me so much. I feel so good after I get off the phone with her. And yeah, she actually phoned to talk, and they're only supposed to actually give you a call maybe for the first couple of months, maybe once a month. This is now, oh my God, it's December. I'm still lost in what month it is, but she's still been phoning and catching up with me, and she's just been wonderful. I think it's, besides my aunt and my mom checking in on me, I think they've just been great. So yeah, and I've got something else to share with you in my free gift thing later too. But I want to tell you, I'm going to pull this out for just a second. Actually, first, I think before I tell you about the grief, what I want to do is I want to share, because I really haven't gotten to share. I didn't do a funeral for my father because we live far away from home. Well, 4 hours, 5 hours, but that's still. And I live in a small town, so I don't have any family here anymore. And what we did is we did a celebration of life on my dad's birthday. And we went to a Chinese restaurant. Hey, I wasn't going to cry. We went to a Chinese restaurant in Kelowna because I have driven my dad to every Chinese restaurant up and down this valley. They're all crappy, except for this one place in Kelowna, and they do dim sum too. When we go up there, we order like $200 worth of food so we could take it all home. My dad could eat it, and I put it in the freezer for him. He could get it out and serve himself. But we did that, and I didn't have the funeral service here because who was going to come, except for my family, and maybe a couple of friends or whatever, and that was it. But I'm going to see if this will show it. Oh, it is too. This is my dad. This, I think he's in his early 20s right there. And oops, touch my finger. In this car that he picked up, my dad he wheeled and dealed in cars. That's why you guys wonder sometimes why I know, how to fix something or do something with cars, because my father would not let me drive until I knew how to do stuff. Like put the oil in, check the gas, check the tires, make sure I knew how to change the tires. I actually worked on cars. Actually, the first time I worked on a car, I was 7 years old. My mother was in the hospital having my sister, and I'm holding the pistons in the car like this, going, Daddy, I can't hold them any longer. He goes, hold them. You can do it. You can do it. Right? Well, he's doing other things, getting the rings ready to put on them. So that's my first memory of working on cars with my dad. But this one here is on the back side. Oops, let's see. You can see him in there. He's on another car part hunt. My dad always... put it this way, I'm the executor of his estate. Guess what I inherited? There's some pretty cool stuff in there, but I can't do anything with anything just yet. And this one here is my dad, just a few years ago. And then one of the last pictures I have of my dad, I'm just going to show you guys one more because I really actually haven't gotten to share with anybody. Not many people anyways. Oops. This one here, this is last year's Christmas. It was just me, my dad, and my 2 kids. And Dad is sitting at the table. And he's helping cut stuff up for Christmas dinner for us. And if you can see, oops, let's see if I get my finger one. See this black mark down the side of his face? It had actually gotten smaller. That was the cancer, and it was called multiple melanoma, multiple something or other melanoma. I'm actually starting to forget about it because I really want to forget. But I just wanted to share this with you on that before I get on with this, because we all have somebody that, you know, has passed away that was close to us. I mean, I've had, you know, a few people pass away, but I wasn't as close to. But my dad and I were like, we fought like cats and dogs, I'll tell you. I could give it to him just as well as he could give it back. I tell you, I gave him a run for his money, but I was still there. You know, there was years where we didn't talk on and off and that, but in the end, I was definitely my father's daughter, I'll tell you. Okay, so I want to say, first off, grief is not a destination. And I'm just reading some stuff I have up here because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to tell you certain things besides getting you my stories. Okay, grief is not a destination. It's not an exotic locale that you visit only once. It's a journey, and that journey can be ongoing for months, years, or even decades, depending on what you've lost. Grief is the normal and natural reaction to significant emotional loss of any kind. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern or behavior. Grief is the feeling of reaching out for someone who has always been there, only to find when you need them again, they are no longer there. And that I've been doing pretty good with. It's been hard to go over to his house. I can do it now. I can go in there by myself. Except we have a rat infestation again. I thought they went away. We had mice before he passed away too. They come and go, and I'm like, but now I can go in there. I take my daughter with me. She actually went into the room where the rats are. I'm going, Jack, take the flashlight. Because I don't want to deal with this. So yeah, it's weird. It actually hit me. I think it must have been after I did the last workshop that it hit me in the gut. Like somebody took a 2x4 and just hit me in the gut. And I'm like, okay, that was the weirdest feeling. And I almost thought I was going to throw up. And I never feel like that. That went away, but it comes in waves. And more I get used to the idea, but I don't know if we ever get used to the idea. I really don't. It's really something that you got to go through. And that's the only thing that, like all summer, I said, I don't know where I was. The grief had to be protecting me, and I couldn't remember if I put something down somewhere. I tried not to drive anywhere. If I didn't have to, I didn't do it. No way. It just protects you. But it goes in waves, and it's like it comes down. You come down a little bit more and a little bit more. It's definitely like peeling an onion. And I'm just going to check some more comments. Christina, is that where you go upside down? Actually, no. That decompression thing, it's that one's that teeter. It's a table or whatever that you tighten your feet into it, and you basically tilt upside down. No, I've tried that a couple times. I don't care for that, especially the blood rush, but you can't relax on it because you're too busy worrying if your feet are going to stay in these boots, basically, and the one that we had like strapped into it. My son actually fell out of it there a couple of years ago. He was playing with it. A friend of ours has one, and he fell out on top of his head, and he wasn't even that far off the ground, but he really hurt his neck. No, I'm done with that. So yeah, the other one that I've been doing, they've got this computerized machine, and after they strap you down, you're lying on this bed. This machine, like, it pulls you apart. It's attached to the belt, so it pulls you one way, like from your head. It pulls me this way, like that. It's so cool. I started out at 60 pounds of pressure for I think 12 minutes, and then I worked up to I think 77 pounds for 20 minutes, and that was too much. I couldn't walk or whatever. Like the next day, I was like too sore. So we've backed it down to I think we're at 74 5 minutes, just a couple minutes and a couple different pounds. I found the sweet spot, supposedly. And it does feel great. Yeah, I had to rock it. I had to tell my mother about this decompression machine. I said, it looks like an S&M thing you see in the movies almost, but it's so cool. It is so cool. Like the end result, like it's the first time you're lying there like, okay, at least I put a curtain around you so nobody can see you. Oh, this thing just doesn't want to work. And scroll down. Oh, Amethyst, Kirsten, hello. What else have we got on here? Yeah, Christina, it's so important to take care of family. It is. Take care of myself first. I couldn't run on any more steam because some of you know me. I'm a multitasker. I'm doing this, doing that, run, and that's what I've been doing the last few years. Come home long enough, make sure the kids got something to eat, or run and get them to, grab them fast food like a few years, and it's not good at all. And and then run over to dad's 2-3 times a day, or at least once a day anyways, and try to sit and talk with them. But unfortunately, I just didn't have, I'm his twin. I am his twin. We used to actually pass for brother and sister, believe it or not. When people used to come to the door trying to sell something, they would go, oh, hello, ma'am, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm 14. Hello. He's my father. You guys are gross, because they would say, hello, Mrs. Jones. Or when they'd phone up, I'm like, ew. We actually passed for brother and sister in the States. So that's another story. I won't even tell you about that right now. Maybe I will later. Oh, thank you, Leonie. It's okay to cry. Yeah. I've been doing that on and off. I finally had to allow myself and make myself. I had to, I think, calm down enough, because usually I'm always like holding it together. I'm the strong one, the tough one kind of thing. But yeah, I can sure yell a lot, but that kind of emotion, no, that's not what I need. I needed to laugh too. In the last few weeks, it's like, oh my God, I am so sick of Facebook scrolling and watching TV right now. Like, I'm done. I think I'm ready to get back into the world. I'm not quite there 100%, but I allowed myself time just to be. That's the best way that I can put it, is just be. Lie there and be, and try to process. When I go for these decompression therapies, in Canada, we're allowed, apparently it's down to 10 sessions now, for physio, kinesiology, massage, chiropractor, and I think there's something else. Anyway, there's a few things. Anyways, I used them up quickly because I was seeing physio, where he does acupuncture, which, oh my God, helped actually. I tried it a few years ago for my leg, and it didn't work at all. The pain in my body has been so much that when I put a heating pad on my back, I can't feel it. And I've got that thing cranked up. My boyfriend felt my back, and he goes, can't you feel like that? You're burning your back. I can't feel it. So, but then if you put it on my stomach, I'll scream. No. So the acupuncture works. Then the heating pad that he puts on for a little while, and then the decompression. And while I'm lying there, because I lie there for about 20 minutes with the heating that he's got and the acupuncture, I don't have anything to distract me. So basically, I'm paying for about three therapies in one, because I don't have my phone and I'm not scrolling. And I have to listen to the people around me. I can hear what's going on in that. And it's like, okay, finally focus, be in the moment. What am I feeling? Okay, the brain's starting to work again, and I just kind of check, different body parts. And I know my back is hurting. And I finally figured out too, besides the stress, that is where I store my anger, my frustration, all kinds of stuff. And so, like I said a few weeks ago, the only way I realized that I'm going to get through this, I got to go through this. It doesn't matter what we're going through. Once you allow it to sit and feel it. My mom actually asked me a couple nights ago, she goes, this is a stupid question. She goes, I don't mean to be mean, but do you enjoy the pain? I says, I get what you're saying. I says, I think she said, do you like the pain or something to that effect. And I said, I know exactly what you mean. You're not being rude. I says, I have to sit and feel it as much as I don't want to, because this summer, honestly, all I wanted to do was die. I just wanted to die because all I could focus on was this pain. And when I'd get a clear moment or whatever, going, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'm not done with this. What else have I got to do? But I'm like, finally, and I don't know, it was probably about 3-4 weeks ago, like I said, I was like, okay, the only way to get through the other side of this shit, it's not going to go away. Grief is probably not going to go away. Who knows? Because I've been trying to picture the other side, but I keep, honest to God, when I'm driving down the road, all I can say is that I just want to crawl into that, in behind you and go with you. I've actually been, not that I don't care about my kids, but usually as a mother, everything, you want to make sure your kids are taking, don't want to leave that, all those things. But the pain, mentally, emotionally, and physically has been so great. It's like, oh my God, fucking just take me out of here. Just take me out of here. And then I'll go, oh, you stupid idiot. You cremated him. You didn't put him in a grave after all. Like, can't follow him in. I'm like, I'm driving down the road and I'm going, Dad, where are you? Where the hell are you? I'm like, okay, you're beside me. You're right there beside me because you came with me to work all the time. So, okay. And every time, another thing I'm remembering, just before, about 20 minutes before I came on to do the live, I turned on the stereo and that to get some vibes going and that, and just to hear something else besides my own thoughts for a bit. I can't even remember the name of the song, but it was an 80s song. And it was about cars. And I can't even think of what it was, but it was one from my time period, right? When I was 14 to, when did I live with Dad? 14 to 19. Anyways, every time something comes on the radio, it hasn't been doing it lately, but it did it today. And it was another 80s song and something from my teenage years. And that is all that is played since Dad passed away. I'm going, the radio stations we have here are, they're okay, but there's not, most of it's like canned music kind of thing. They just play the same thing over and over. We don't usually hear a lot of 80s songs. I'm like, okay. Everything I can relate to is like, my dad was around. He'd come home from like the pub or whatever, like between 12 and 2 in the morning. I'd still be up. And we'd crank up the music because we lived in a house, so we could do that and on a busy street. So we'd have the music blaring. We'd get up and dance and sing and whatever, right? It was fun. I mean, at the time, living with your parents at home, I hate your parents and everything, but those are my good memories. And every comes on, like Crazy Little Thing Called Love. How often do we hear that song on the radio? The first 6 weeks, 2 months, I heard it every time I turned on the radio when I got into my van or, even in the house. Like, they were just playing something up to date. And then CCR songs were my favorite. They always remind me of my dad, like when I was little, because we used to hear that back early 70s when Dad used to look after me when I was little and my mom was at work. So I was always with my dad. And those are the songs that came on. They're my favorite. So I think those got to be messages or something. So he was here with me. I thought that was really cool. Okay. I know I've been telling lots of my stories again. Netta, yes, thank you so much for sharing. You're very welcome. It has taken quite a bit for me to get on here today to do this. I'm actually I'm in a really good place, I want to say, especially watching my TV shows I've been watching. I want to say typical responses associated with grief are reduced concentration, which I've talked to you guys about, the brain fog in that, a sense of numbness. Yeah, I've gone through that. I think I'm finally coming out of that. Disrupted sleeping patterns. I had that for a little bit. Changed eating habits. The roller coaster of emotional energy. Yeah, been up and down, up and down. And I basically, from the beginning, I just allowed it. Nobody has told me, thank God, how to be, feel, act, anything. I've had some people tell me things that I should be doing with my dad's stuff, or how to do things. I'm like, finally, I've been keeping like, I know how to drive a truck. What do you think I learned to drive on? You know, I have driven a truck and camper. I'm pretty sure I can handle driving this. I've driven everything I can get my hands on because my dad told me to do that. Plus, I like driving anyway, so that's okay. Also, I want to say grief is individual for each person, okay? Don't let anybody, just tell them to back off. Do not let anybody tell you how you should grieve, what you should be doing, or how, you know, how you should be feeling, how long it should take you. That's up to you. And it's really actually up to your emotions. I'm learning it's really not actually up here. It's actually coming from the heart. And I've got, like I said, I've got a handout for you guys later on, and it's in there, and it just has helped a lot. A lot of these things I've kind of figured out myself by just letting myself be. Now, that there's no stages actually, according to this sorry, this website that I came across a few months ago. It's called the Grief Recovery Method, and according to them, there are no stages. That Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's work was on death and dying, not actually grief. She is very specific about this distinction in her books, and yet the media and universe have attached her work to grief. This common misinformation has confused and hurt many grievers throughout the years. People have actually, I can't even think of the word now. They've been told they have PTSD, they have depression, they have anxiety, like, you know, all kinds of things. But actually, it is grief that they haven't finished grieving. There's actually a name for that, and I'm going to look this up in this book because I can't think of it at the moment. I think it's incomplete grief is what it is. Yeah, and unresolved grief, because grief actually is not just somebody dying. It is losing a job, losing a pet, you know, of course, divorce, retirement, moving definitely can be too, financial change, okay, either not just a decrease in wealth, but also an increase. That can be huge, like, you know, trying to adjust to that. Loss of health, obviously, legal problems, empty nest, even end of addiction, which was surprising to me. But in a way, I guess it wouldn't be, because when you change your habits on things and don't go back to them, like, you have to learn things, you learn new habits, new ways of coping. Addiction, I've learned over the years, is actually a coping skill, or a coping mechanism. I don't want to say skill. You know, some people it could be a skill. Even starting school, okay? Those are examples, but there's actually 43 losses apparently, according to this grief recovery method. Yeah, so the next thing I want to tell you guys is, I know I told you, there is no time limit, okay? Don't let anybody tell you what the time limit is, because there isn't. Next thing I want to tell you about the stages of grief, even though I know I just said that there isn't really stages according to this grief recovery method. I call them waves now, because really, like Marissa says, the waves she can relate to. Yeah, a lot of people, I was told before my dad died what to expect, this, that, and the other thing, and you know, what was going to happen just before he passed away, and that, and even the nurses didn't tell me. I had to go look it up. So there's another thing for my complaint file. One of the waves is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I think I'm starting to be in the acceptance part, but I am starting to go back into denial a little bit again. Bargaining, I don't think I've really gone through that, because really, sometimes I would go to sleep and I've had some dreams in the beginning going like, no, he's right here. You know, I've had some wild dreams too, actually, in the beginning. I haven't had any for a while, but he has visited me. Actually, my father visited me a few hours, well, not even. He passed away at about 8:45, and I was there. I watched him pass away. And he had told me when I had to take him to the hospital, he goes, I sure don't want you to see me die in here. I said, it's okay, Dad, it's okay. And I went, wait, what did you say? He goes, I don't want you to watch me die in here. It's like, you knew this was it. Because he was really having a bad time the last couple of weeks, not being able to eat or keep anything down and walking. He couldn't get up and out of bed too much. And that night, that was a Thursday night. He said that. It was Tuesday night that he passed away because they didn't think he was going to make it through the weekend. As yes, he is. It's my dad. He's going to, you don't know my dad. Like the doctor did know my dad. He was tough. And so I was there until about 3 o'clock in the morning. That night, my van died in the parking lot too. It wouldn't start. And I finally got it to start. And I'm like, this thing sounds really weird. It had gotten cold again. It was like -8 up here. And it was getting warm the week before. But it's like, what the hell's going on with that? I'm like, really? Okay, Dad, like, help me here. Got it started up. Got out of the hospital parking lot. And I booted. I floored it. I wanted to actually go for a drive somewhere, but my van wasn't working right. So I put my foot into it, like I sometimes do, especially when I first found out about, actually the week before when I put him into the hospital, the doctor said he wasn't going to make it. I actually went sneaky with it. But I think I'm allowed to. Thank God there was nobody on the road. I got it home and then my girlfriend followed me home, make sure I got home okay to see, I was on the level and that. So I came home, got upstairs. My daughter was still awake, so I told her that Grandpa had passed. And as I was getting changed, I was looking across my bed and towards my mirror, but I wasn't looking, like I didn't see the mirror. I saw my dad going, thanks, Pam, like that. And I went, you're welcome, Dad. And I went, oh, okay, I understand what the veil means now. And I've basically been living kind of between both worlds in the last few months. Like now I'm starting to be more into the reality, but it's wild. Like never mind Halloween, okay, when we do the, beyond the veil stuff. And he's come to me in dreams and stuff. So it's like, now, okay, I got to ask him questions because I never got to ask him some stuff. It never occurred to me to ask him. So he has come to me and helped with things. So that's been good. Oh, Christina says, where do we go here? Yeah, it sneaks up on me as all the time, but now I treasure the moment. Same feelings, just different perspective. Yeah, exactly. And Christina says, I can relate to that too. We cremated my family as well. It's kind of tough not having a spot, so we purchased a bench at a park. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what to do because his wife's family had really wanted me to bury my dad with her here in Oliver. And I thought, once I move from here, we're probably not going to come back. And I thought, well, maybe I'll put part of him or whatever in there. And I'm like, I thought, no, when I pass away, then I'll tell my boys maybe if they want to or whatever. Now I'm going, no, just bury my dad with me because we were a twosome. We always were. Like everybody knew I was my father's daughter since the beginning. And it's just always, I was a sidekick. I went everywhere with him. And that. So yeah. Oh, I wish these comments would work right now. Oh, thank you. Marissa says, thank you for speaking about it. It's really helpful. I hope it is. Yeah, Christina says, I noticed my husband's depression, overall mood drastically changed. Yeah, when his dad passed. And I was going to say that too. My dad wasn't always the happiest guy. He wasn't. Like I said, we fought a lot. Okay, my dad was very different. He actually said something a couple of summers ago. He goes, I'm not of this world. And I says, I know you're not, Dad. And I thought, yeah, I know he realizes it. My dad had a high IQ. He used to take everything apart and put it back together. He taught himself how to fix cars. He didn't go to school for it. He taught himself how to do auto body work and that. He actually did the Expo 86. If you guys have ever seen pictures of Expo 86, there's a big icky orangey red, whatever it is, color. And it's actually... it's at the opening when you come to the expo site. And my dad built that, and I think he built it. He painted it anyways, because I come home one day from school and, what the hell's with all this paint color on the driveway and that? And he told me, oh, that's cool. So people used to seek him out for things. I think I told you guys before, we actually owned the Beach Boys car, that Woody that you see. We actually had that. Dad actually threw out, he got rid of the papers there before he moved up here to Oliver. I'm like, really? That's the only proof I have left that we own that thing. It was so cool. There's that. He met, what is that guy's name? He played the Tin Man, I think it was, in The Wizard of Oz. He just told me about this like about 2 years ago. They were at a swap meet in Portland together. We used to go every year, but it was one of the years that I wasn't there, obviously. It just, so many people, I want to say seeked him out, looked for him and that because of his skills. But he knew more than a lot of people did. He couldn't relate to a lot of people unless it was car stuff even. He could read people. He had intuition like you wouldn't believe. And that, and he didn't believe in this stuff either. Like, it was weird. Yeah, death quickly changes people, really. Yeah, Christina. Marissa says, sometimes I am grieving the loss. Other times it has been for myself at certain. Yeah. I get that. I really get that. And unfortunately, something I read the other day, unfortunately, we're all going to go through this. My girlfriend lost her husband 10 days after I lost my dad. So hers was sudden. He was only 50. Yeah, I think it's just before his 50th birthday. So she's going through something totally different. The day after my dad passed away, my other girlfriend, her sister died. A couple months, mid-August. Actually, I think it was on Elvis Presley's birthday. My step aunt, my dad's wife's sister, she passed away. It's been a year. I'm telling you, it has been a year for everybody. And it's like, I want 2019 to go away, but yet I don't. Like, I want this stuff to stop, but there's nothing I can do about it, of course. And oops, I don't know why this one does. Christine says, we put our family in water so they can travel the world. Oh, Sam just came up with something, my daughter, the other day, that this woman, she cremated her husband and put him into one of those water bottles, plastic water bottles, with a note in it for him to travel all around the world. That just made me remind me of that. And I thought that was actually a cool idea. Not do that with me. Marissa says, I was wondering if as a medium you might experience your father after death differently. You know, I think I do. And I've thought about that because in some ways I prepared for it, but I thought, you know, you can't prepare for it because you don't know how you're going to feel or what you're going to go through. And that, but I think I do. And that's why I talk to him in my head a lot. I don't really talk to him out loud. Like even when I did the celebration of life, like I read out, my mom actually wrote out a lot of stuff for me to say and that, and sent it up to me so I could tell my kids about things that my dad, they didn't know about my dad. They didn't know either. But like I told everybody, I said, look, we all knew my dad could be an asshole at times. Yes, you could. And that, I mean, I finally even told him that because, like, you know, I could stand back a few feet and knew I wasn't going to get hit either. But my dad had thanked me. I remember when I was a teenager because I taught him things. Like we would go at it, literally, you know, like that. But we would go away, but we'd always come back. We could hold grudges for quite a while, but one of us, usually me, would reach out or whatever. We'd just pick the phone up as if nothing ever happened and just carry on. So I'm glad that I was looking after him before he passed. I didn't have any grudges, any anger that I had with my dad. I know somebody said something, I think recently, about anger or something. I let all that go. When he passed, anything that I was ever pissed off at him about, which I had a lot of anger problems and whatever issues and that with my dad while I was growing up, and even since, because I was going through it again the last couple of years, getting pissed off with things, but I kept them to myself. So that's another thing I'm letting go in my body. But they all just went away. And I think maybe that's part of it, though, but it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm trying to tell people in the real world, you know, like all these bills you're trying to get, you know, everywhere you turn around, they want a handout for something. They want money. They charge you more because you're dead. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, got a beef with that too. That's another one on my list that's over there. The lady from the hospice thing, put it aside for now. I did, working on me first, but it just went away. You learn that all this crap, it doesn't matter. So all these people that run around doing all this busy work, this paperwork, creating things and taxes for this, tax for that, it doesn't matter. And I've had it out with the bank too, that's holding my dad's money. Yeah, that's another story. Never mind. Just send me off, because they wanted to take me into the office, and I says, no, I have 6 kids and teenagers. I'm not scared of you. And there's people like behind me. It's like, pay this bill you said you were going to. I've noticed a few weeks later, they finally didn't even know they said they weren't going to. And I'm like, let it go. None of this stuff matters. Like, and I'm trying not to wish it on other people, because really you wouldn't want to wish this on somebody, you know, like death and that. I mean, you know, when you're kids or whatever, when you're being ignorant before you mature, you know, you say stupid shit like that. But no, I just, no. And I'm like, walk away, Pam. Walk away. Go have a smoke. Go have a pop. You know, go sit with your dad. No. Okay, so I told you about number 1, I think, didn't I? Oh, where'd we go? Where did I go? Okay, stages of grief. I told you about that. Denial. Yeah, denial I did. But to do. Like, you know, you can see it right there. But it's, like I said, that's the veil. When I came home that night after he passed away, I'm like, okay, I know it's a fact, you know, and you have to, for the first 10 days, I was like up here, and I wouldn't drive. I had my girlfriend driving. I says, I'm not driving anywhere. Like, no, could you please drive me down to the funeral home? Can you please drive me? And then she's had this happen. So it's like, okay, I got to get in behind the wheel before I'm ready to, but I'm only going to and from work or to and from the grocery store. And my kids, thank God, they're of the age I can send them. They've been going to the grocery store a lot in the last few months, especially while I've been dealing with my back and that, and finally finding the right position to sleep and face down on the massage table. Just so you know, that's a good place. That will help your back. Christina says, when you dream about him, do you understand he's no longer here? Yeah. At first, I was, even before he passed away, I thought, you know, I'll treat it like when we didn't talk for 5 years. Like, I knew he was still alive, but he was there. And it's like, okay, Pam, pay attention. What did your dad teach you about this? What did your dad teach you about this part? Where's that tool? Okay, I know where. Oh, I can't think of it now. It's the tool that you have to torque the tires, okay, on your vehicle. If you get them changed, you have to tighten those bolts after, say, about 50 kilometers or whatever, 50 to 100 kilometers or miles even. I didn't do that one day, and I almost lost the wheels on my van. That was a couple of years ago. I sheared off the bolts. Please, if you ever get a tire change and they tell you that you've got to torque the nuts, go back and do that. Like, that was the scariest feeling ever. I know I told you guys about that a couple of years ago, but I just had to do it again on the truck, and I didn't have enough strength, and my daughter couldn't understand what I was telling her, and it was getting dark, so we actually went. I'm like, I feel like an idiot, because I'm like, I know how to do this, but I'm like, it's cold. They got the tools, forget it. We went to the store to get it done. So yeah, just up and down. Like, I am more settled. I haven't really been out of my mind, but in shock is more like it. And as it settles and going through the waves. So yeah, everybody's experience is different, but it really is. My girlfriend told me when, another friend had told me when her husband passed away, they had just found out he had cancer a few weeks beforehand, and he was going for treatments and then for chemo and that, but then he didn't come home. And then he passed away at the hospital. But she had said it comes in waves, because people had told her that. And it's like, yeah, you weren't kidding. But I think it comes in waves till you get the reality of it. Let's see. Oh, Christina says, yeah, they try to squeeze every penny out of families after they're gone. Yeah, it's 7 years. Yeah, oh, still dealing with it. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. No. Yeah, Marissa says, yes, one thing that really helped my grieving is to learn that my tears help my loved ones become healed ancestors. Yeah, I was starting to think that too, is to finally let it out, because I don't think my ancestors on my dad's side, well, even my mom's side, that we really do that. Like, the English really comes out on my dad's side of the family. Like, be tough, you just carry on. And sometimes that's all you can do, because you've got to. I know I can't see all these comments, but I'm going to get back to all of them. Leonie says, I work with both my deceased grandmother ancestors in my work, especially on TV, and they are so on point. They always come together holding hands and are determined that their legacy, me and mine, will have a better life than they did. Oh, that is so awesome. Yeah, I want to do some more of that work too. Okay, acceptance, depression I talked about. Bargaining I haven't gone through, because I think I'm just not even going to do that. I go back and forth and up and down or whatever, and worry about stuff, but not really worry about stuff. Yeah. Christina says, that's how I know I'm having a mediumship dream or a regular dream. In my mediumship dreams, I know they're not here anymore. Yes. Yeah. I get what you're saying. And I know I was going to do my psychic circles this year, and I was going to put a waiting list up, and which I still am, and some vision boards in my sistership circles, which are really helpful right now. I've just been doing it with a close couple of friends, and that's just all I wanted to do. And I've missed that actually the last couple of weeks, and I really need to get back into it, but I want to bring it out there in the public. So it is so helpful, because even though if I record them, it's just for us, and you can let yourself be, and what is said there stays there, and we can let it out. Yeah, the mediumship dreams. Yeah, I wanted to do actually my psychic circle called a dream week one, dream session one, and that it's really cool actually sorting out your dreams. It really is. And I had some wild ones where I dreamt, I think about a couple weeks after Dad passed away, I dreamt, actually, it was really a nightmare. I woke up, I've had a couple of those, that my dad had a 23 tea bucket, which I loved. I actually got to sit in once in the driver's seat, and oh my God, it was so powerful. Nearly took out my bedroom wall. Thank God there was a post there. I didn't even touch the gas yet. I dreamt that went down a water slide into the ocean, but we were like right beside the ocean. And I had to call a couple of people that my dad knew, and I knew I couldn't get this thing back out, but when I pieced it together, it was like something was out of my control, and I wasn't going to be able to bring it back. So I still need to decipher some of it, and I still haven't written it out yet. It's on my phone, one of my reminder things to do, because the dream is so vivid. It's one I probably will never forget. Wow, there's a lot of comments on here that I can't see them all, but I can see how many there is. Let's see, I told you about grief's individual. Very specific distinction, yes, on Kubler-Ross's. Let's see, did that. Okay, so suggestions. I know you guys have been so patient with me. I didn't even think I was going to be able to sit here this long. So suggestions on how to deal with the holidays while grieving. I have a few suggestions of how I've been thinking about it for a while. I mean, I may be perfectly fine, because when I lived with my dad, we didn't do too much for Christmas. We'd go with my grandma's or whatever and have dinner there, and maybe to my dad's girlfriends or something, have with her family. But at home, we didn't even bother to decorate. I just couldn't get into it. So it's like not a big deal. My kids are teenagers, and I'm trying to talk them out of it, but they want to stay home, but they don't want to do turkey, ham, or any of that, which this is fine with me. One year we actually did, I can't remember if it was pizza or lasagna when Avery was a baby, so he was probably about a year old. Sam was probably about 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. Didn't matter to me. Great. You got your presents. I let them rip open their presents, and it was from wall to wall. And they're not going to remember this. I'm not going to stress out about doing that, picking up or whatever. We left it like that. I did my own thing. They did their own. But I want to say, turn off the news. That I haven't watched the news now, except I think maybe 2 or 3 times. I've clicked it over that channel, found out there's a strike or whatever, which is in Vancouver, has nothing to do with us anyways, with the transit system. The news is the same thing over and over and over. And I've been watching it again the last couple of years, I guess a year anyways, like religiously. So I've turned it off, and that's a big part of me coming back up too. And don't watch my whodunit shows. I've watched a few lately. CSI's been okay, but I think I better get off of that again. But that ID channel, investigation discovery channel, whatever it is there, I got to get off of those again. Vitamin D, I take about 6 of those a day. B complex, especially B12, take some of those. You really need to, even if you're not eating when you're going through grief, even like if Christmas or whatever, or any holidays, birthdays are going to bring you down, please take care of you first and be in the moment as best you can. It's fine to sit there and have memories, because that's a lot of what I've been doing. I've been going over in my head all the rod runs we used to go on. Like, I doubt I'll ever go to another rod run again, or, you know, I know I won't go to any more treasure hunts. I mean, we used to do that when I was a kid. We'd go across to the States and that usually, and we'd be in a 36 Ford Roadster. I got to sit in the rumble seat, or I got to sit in the front seat. Usually when we went that far, I was in the rumble seat. It was the coolest thing. And we got to go into parades. So I am sitting there, and this is important. I am remembering the good and the bad. Mostly I'm remembering the good. But remember I said about incomplete grief? It's, you know, when you have incomplete grief is when you are either only thinking about talking or thinking about only the good stuff, or only the bad stuff, or negative stuff, okay? Whether, you know, that it's happening to you, you know, everything's bad that's happening to you, or about that person or whatever. You have to I want to say experience both sides. So yeah, that's one of the things with the incomplete grief. And there's so much more in this little booklet that I'm going to put up the link to. I've got a link to this place, and it's called griefrecoverymethod.com. And the link is in the freebie that I'm going to get you guys to do the opt-in for at the end. So yeah, also watching, you guys have been seeing me probably scrolling through Facebook and, you know, sharing stuff and that, and I know I've been sharing a lot of grief stuff, but it's because of stuff that I've been coming up with. And, you know, usually you can tell what people are going through when they post stuff on Facebook. But when I post things about friends or other things, you know, different topics and that, if I'm on a run of them, obviously they're there on Facebook. But it's not because I'm going through it necessarily, but it's because I know somebody is, or I see something that's on there. And I know I've got to get back into making my own little posts or memes, memes, whatever you call those things, and put them up there. I found actually a really good show that makes me just howl. I couldn't think of anything even on Netflix, because I took it off of Netflix. But it's Third Rock from the Sun. That show is hilarious. It's like, you don't always know what's coming up next, unless, I think I'm halfway through the series. I had to stop. I was actually getting a little bit sick of it, and I was starting to get up and out of bed, so that was good. But I needed to laugh, okay? I was feeling guilty for a long time because I didn't do enough for my dad. So that didn't help me, but I thought, just go through it. Just go, you know, I've got to sit and feel these things. I've never felt them before, because these feelings you're going to have is things that you've never felt before, even though if you can put a label on them. And something I was reading recently, was it? No, it was a course I took actually just recently. You don't need to identify the feelings, okay? Don't feel bad if you can't identify the feelings, because they really come down to just, I think, like 5 or 6 feelings. Just feel them, but just make sure you don't sit in them. And I know I've said this before about other things in my workshops. Just don't stay there. Tell yourself when you've had enough, okay? It's the only way I believe that you're going to get through something, whether it's grief, anything, okay? Just don't let yourself sit there. Yeah, I needed to laugh a lot. What else did I do? Oh, I took that omega-3 stuff. I found one that's like, woo, it is pretty high actually in omega-3 and 6. I think it is, this oil. One of them tasted really icky though, but I found one that's not too bad. Do that. Oh, and this is astragalus tea. I think Mario asked me. I found that by accident a few years ago. Man, if you got a hangover, I'll tell you, you don't need any other fixes, okay? This stuff is better than coffee. You don't get the jitters or anything. It was in a tea that I bought at the grocery store a few years ago, and it was always popular. It was called, it was President's Choice brand. It was called Revive Me, and it was always out because I would buy them 2 at a time. They only had it for a couple of years at the store, so thank God I kept the box because I wanted to see the ingredients. I'm always looking at the ingredients and stuff. And one of the things that I didn't recognize was called astragalus, and it's astragalus. And you can get it in a couple of forms. Don't do the capsules; they're gross, and you have to have 2 on a full stomach twice a day. No, and you don't want the gut ache. I don't think I get a gut ache from those ones, but some of these medications I've been on for pain reliever, you get a gut ache. Please, when they say take food with it, do that. Anyways, it actually, I found out it's good for cancer. It's a pain reliever too. It keeps me awake for hours. So I think the last couple of weeks is when I'm up to 3:30 in the morning, but I've been taking it like in the afternoon. But it really has helped with the pain, and actually it must have really helped and it's kicked in because I'm sitting here wiggling around more than normal. Another thing here for suggestion, okay, is if you're going out to family dinners or functions for Christmas and that, see if somebody will be your support buddy, that they'll go with you, you know, like if you find it hard, you know, at a party or out with friends or whatever, if you find it hard, they can, you know, recognize or whatever. You can maybe have a code word or something and say, yeah, I'm done. You know, I've had enough for today. And, you know, if it's too much for you, don't do it. You don't have to go out. Just tell people, you know, say, thank you for thinking of me and inviting me out. But maybe next year when maybe I'll be in a different place. And I know my dad was. The reason I said earlier that my dad he wasn't always nice, and he could be really cranky, and we'd go to battle because I was probably about the only person that knew how to handle him, and it took a lot of years to get to the point where I was. But then I also realized he's miserable for a reason. But that was later in life. We don't know, something happened, I guess, when he was a teenager or something. But when his wife passed away, he was okay at first for the first few weeks. He was the executor, but I was doing all the stuff and driving him around and handing out the death certificates and going, okay, Dad, sign this, do this, or whatever. And he was quiet. And I know his birthday was a few months later. And, we had to go around then or whatever. Yeah, happy 70th birthday to you too, blah, 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 whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, great, his birthday. You know, like, okay, calm down on that. But he was really miserable that he would ask if we could go to such and such restaurants. I am not taking you there again. Why not? You embarrassed me. Forget it. But last year, about a year and a half, a couple of years ago, he changed again. His demeanor changed. And that was before he found out he had cancer. And I started to understand because I started looking at him through different eyes. And now I get it. I really get it. I just don't want to be out in public, and I have to bite my lip sometimes. I'm like, I'm just going to stay home. Like I have not been out in the sunshine at all this year. And I'm like, oh man, we're just going to be so bad for me. But I've been doing good. Lots of vitamin D pills. I'll tell you, it's going to be coming this winter. Now, I've told you about those things. So actually, I want to tell you a quick couple of things here. Things that are not helpful to say to people. It's in this booklet, but I want to bring it up anyways. Where do we go? Oh, the silly things. I want to say silly things. Oh, he's in a better place. He's not feeling any pain now, which that was not too bad, but he's in a better place. Not helpful, and it's not just me that says that, and it's actually in this book too. You'll be fine in time. I know how you feel. You shouldn't be feeling that way still. Thankfully, I have not had that one yet because I think I'll fire at somebody, then I'll finally blow. Look on the bright side. At least they're in a better place. Don't feel bad. His suffering is over now. Maybe for that person, the suffering's over, but that's got nothing to do with your grief. Everybody's different, how you go through it. Don't be angry with God. Oh, and here's a good one. You're young, you can still have other children if you've lost a child, or, you know, you're young, you can get married again if you've lost a husband or a wife. And this one here, it was just a dog, cat, bird, etc. And I mean, I know I've been guilty of thinking it's like with my mom, like, it's just a cat. But then that's the way I was brought up, that, well, they're just pets around. I see it differently though now. Probably in the last 20 years anyways. I didn't replace my dog. I had to put 3 dogs down, one after the other there, about 10, 15, oh God, no, it's more than that now. It took me 10 years before I would get another pet. I'm not going to run out and replace them. Now here, I know I've got this thing in here. Helpful things to say. I know I didn't have this booklet or whatever, but I just stayed away from trying to make any comment. Sometimes I just tell them I'm here for you. And if you want to talk, because I have learned that is all people want to do. They just want to be able to talk. They don't want people running away and not mentioning the deceased person's name, or even, you know, they skirt around it. And I know I've done that too, because I don't know what to say. But I've learned, like, if you want to talk, I'll sit here and I'll listen to you, you know, and it goes both ways. And that's all somebody wants. They want people to acknowledge that the deceased person that's passed away actually was living, that they were there. That's the biggest thing. Another one here, it says, I can't imagine how you feel. I know that when I lost my mother, I felt such and such. I mean, I know I say I can relate. I don't know how you're feeling, because how do we know? Like, when you break your arm or something, or, you know, you get stabbed, you know, I got stabbed in the ankle with a pencil one time when I was a kid, but it's like, you can't feel what other people have in their body, so you don't know. We can relate to it. We have maybe an understanding sometimes. So I stick with that. Anyways, I don't know if that's helpful or not to people, but I prefer not to say something silly like, you know, yeah, you'll be fine in time, like that. Listen to your heart, not your head. Allow all emotions to be expressed without judgment, criticism, or analysis is a helpful thing to say to somebody. Let them feel it. Do ask what happened. Most people will avoid this question. However, most often we find that grievers feel isolated because most people will tend to avoid them as if nothing happened, like I said. And this can be very isolating for someone who's grieving. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are isolated right now. And I've learned, something I read was, we're all grieving. Every single person is grieving something, like the past relationships, pets, people, anything, jobs, and that. And those are the incomplete grief, is when we carry those on, which, yeah, we're going to. But we can do something about it. We can do healthy things, you know, and to deal with it. And like I said, that the best place that I found so far is this grief recovery method. And they actually do trainings on that. And I thought, you know, maybe that might be something else I might get into. I don't know. Suggestions on new traditions for holidays. What I was thinking about all summer was do things that your loved one liked to do. What did they like to do? You know, you can honor them that way. Was there an activity they liked to do? Places they liked to go? Restaurants they liked? I'm seriously thinking of going to a Chinese restaurant, because I did not realize in this valley here where everything's closed on Sunday and Mondays that the Chinese restaurant we like to go to, they're open on Christmas. I'm going, cool, no cooking. I like that. And we went up there so often. It's like an hour and a half drive to go there, just to go out for the day. And they know us by name and that. And, you know, that it'll get you out and away from, you know, your regular surroundings instead of being in the house. Another thing, was there a favorite ornament they had? Put it up. Put it up on the tree. Was there something that's been passed down from all your ancestors? My dad had, and I've got to find this, I don't know where the heck it is. He had this really cool ornament, and he used to put it in the doorway, and it was a bell, and it would hang there, and it was all glittery and that rough. I can picture it because we've had it since I was a kid. I don't even know if there's a story behind it. I now got to go and ask my aunt. I thought about this last night. But you would pull on the bell pull in the middle, and it was a wind up, and it was so cool. And I didn't know he liked Christmas until he told me a couple of years ago. I'm like, you like Christmas? I thought we hated Christmas. Like, I've always, like, just things that have happened in the past Christmas. I don't want to deal with Christmas. Turns out it's his favorite time of year. I'm like, really? There's stories behind that too. I'm not going to tell about those ones today. One day, maybe when I'm ready. But yeah, put their ornaments up. You know, make a place setting at Christmas. Put a stocking up. I've got a stocking that we've used for the last few years for my dad, one of the extra ones we had. I'm definitely going to put that one up. And, oh, I know now. Put up an altar. I've got a little bit of one. Susie Zern, she did the workshops back in October. She was talking about altars and candles, and it was funny because when I was watching that, I thought, I don't think I stole her idea. But that's what I was thinking of, is to do a candle, and you can dress it or whatever if you want, but even just etch their name in it and maybe burn it. You don't even have to burn it. My mom's got a candle. Oh my God, it's been, I think it's going to be 12 or 13 years now. Yeah, it's going to be 13 years that her husband has passed away, and she still has the candle. I think she does light it every once in a while, like on his birthday and that. But that's something that you can do. I know that maybe they sound familiar, whatever, then everybody does that. But, you know, really that would be helpful, just to go to a spot. I have my dad's picture. I really haven't looked at it lately because I think I couldn't look at it lately. But I know he's here with me. And it's on my TV stand with some other cool stuff that I've been getting from my aunt and my grandmother, of her mothers, who none of us ever met because she died when my grandmother was young. And that I've got this cash box up there and a few things, and it's really cool. I mean, might have to organize that one of these days. So those are my 3 or actually 5 things I expanded of things to say and do. And I know, wow, I can't believe I've actually sat here and talked this long. I am actually, that tea is really helping. I haven't taken any pain pills. I've actually been going more than 24 hours at a time now without taking any pain pills, so that's good. Jessica says, my father passed when I was 6, and while I didn't have a long relationship with him, I still cry when I think of him sometimes. So thank you for saying that it can be a process which affects us all differently. Yeah, and help with grieving. Yeah, and I think if you acknowledge that you're grieving or how you're feeling, I think, because time is a man-made thing in really so many ways. Maybe it won't be as long. Maybe that will shift over to happier memories. I think you're actually also grieving that you didn't have them for very long. Yeah, and Christine's death changes people really. Yeah, that was something else that I'd come across. I'm not going to be the same person I was. A couple times I'm thinking, I just want to go back to me. I need to find me. That was the big thing this summer. I needed to tune out because I needed to find me again. And you all probably know that we need to do that, I guess, from time to time, different stages, because my kids are growing up, you know, they're in the fun teenage years, and I've been doing Court of Atonements on them. If you want to know what that is, I'll explain later or whatever. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I've been doing that on them. Oh my God, they've been getting along. They've actually been helping me at work. My daughter, who never helps, she doesn't complain. I'm going to do this one again. Yeah, I forget where I was going with that. Well, I'm in a good mood. I showed up, and that's what I'm proud of today. Yeah, I had to find out who I was again. I'm still a daughter. My mom's still here. I'll never stop being a daughter. I'm not the caretaker that I was before. I now have to adjust to taking care of my kids and me. And right now I'm still telling them, take care of yourself. You're 13 and 16. You should be able to do such and such. Leave me alone for a while. I'm not. But it really does a head spin on you. You've got to find out where's your place. All summer I've been trying to figure out, what does life matter? Who the fuck cares? Sorry, but that's where my head's been. Who cares? And I finally said it to some people in August, even my mom. It's just, I really don't care. What does it matter? Why the hell are we here? Why am I here? thank God I've pulled out of that. I mean, I wasn't suicidal, but yet I didn't care. I just, probably the overwhelm. I have been overwhelmed for years. I mean, I'm still overwhelmed. Like, if you can see my house right now, but I don't care. My back is more important. My kids scrapping at 2:30 in the morning and the wonderful words they say, and I'm trying to tell them, quit, don't wake up the neighbors, but I don't care. And my daughter comes in, why can't you be, like, what is it? About parenting. I'm like, well, you seem to be doing pretty good for 16. Go for it. You were already telling me how to do it. Go for it. I'm going back to sleep. Leave me alone, right? I told them that crap is not worth it for my back because I keep waking up every day. There's a reason I'm here again. I don't know what it is. One is probably to kick their butts through school because we're having a problem with that still. Karma, if there is karma, it's going to get them. They're starting to clue in though. Like that court of atonement thing, I'm telling you, they work. It doesn't necessarily always work right away, but it does. So now that I've done, I think, everything I want to talk to you guys about, wow, there's a lot of comments on there. That is awesome. Oh, and trying to get this, I don't know why this is not working. Maybe my battery's dying on that. Yes, Marissa says, adjusting to a different role after caretaking is hard. When I did it, I was tired. Then I had to discover what my path was that for me. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because I've been going, did I do a radio show again? Do I want to? I'll be doing it by myself. Now, wait, I've done them by myself before. So now I've got to figure out what topics, even though, like, I know I keep saying I got files over there, but I'm going to go through them. And I'm going to do different topics, maybe a series of topics, learn about crystals, because I don't know a lot about crystals. But I love my selenite one. Had that beside me. Whenever I do a workshop, I bring this because I noticed one workshop I did a couple of years ago with Christina here. I just did my clearing thing. And I calmed down. I just went like this while I was talking. I went, oh, wow. I didn't say it on the thing, but yeah. And then I have my new one. It is Scolasite, which actually, the one thing I remember about this one is, it helps with mediumship. Yeah, more mediumship, I think, than the psychic stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Netta says, great idea. Maybe I can use it to help my mom. Yeah, you can. If you guys have any questions or anything, and if I can't see them, I will definitely answer them. You can always email me. Oh, Maria says, to Christina, I love the traditions with trusts, flowers, gardens. It's so interesting how capable people make us responsible for them or someone else. When my mom found out that after a certain age, I did not do my kids' wash or make them lunch, they get to. Damn right. She thought I was horrible. Really? It was time to make 5 kids. Yeah, 5 kids' lunches and do wash. Or take all my kids know how to do their wash now because I wasn't doing it in the summer, and actually even last year. There's the washing machine. You've seen me do it how many times? You know where the dishes are? You just keep finding them coming out of the cupboards more and more. And then when, the sinks are full, you can't find any more dishes. Whoa, they made this real cool invention. It's called soap and a washcloth. Use it. Like my oldest one, he was 2. And as soon as he could put on his shoes, and I'd watch him in that because I was teaching him, like, as soon as you can do this for yourself, then you need to do this yourself. And I know these 2, I've babied in, I guess, some ways or whatever. I'll just do it myself, is more or less. But now I'm like, no, take me here, take me there. You've got 2 feet. I walked all over Surrey. Forget it. And then I drove, so forget it. You can do it yourself. Like I had, they're sick of hearing this. I had a job outside of the house. I ran the house. I did the chores in the house. I did the laundry, like the whole 9 yards. I worked for my father on cars. And I did yard work. And then I had to go to school and do my homework. I didn't get a lot of homework done, though, which he knows that already. Because he sat there and made sure I passed grade 12. He sat at the kitchen table with me going through all my subjects to make sure I passed and graduated. So, yeah, if I can do those things, so can they. And our parents did, too. They had it way worse than all of us. So, let's see. See, there's 7, 8. I know I love that one. Mel Chase, I did a selenite and sound healing thing I went to, and it was amazing. I know. I just, you know, this is the first one. Actually, maybe the rose quartz, but this crystal here is the first one that I really felt something out of. And I'm like, oh, these actually do work, you know, because just like the aromatherapy when I was doing that years ago when I was going through the depression of my husband and I actually getting a divorce and that. After about 2 hours of using essential oils and putting them as soaps and that, I was just flying off the wall. I'm going, holy shit, this actually works. It was lemon and some other citrus ones I put into some soap. I'm like, 2 hours ago, I was dragging myself. Oh, what does it matter? Who cares? I'm like, woo, can we go out now? Like, woo, I want to go out and do something. And I'm like, wow, they really do work. But I guess maybe it's just at the right time when you experience it. Maybe that's what it is, and then it clicks in or something. I think there's something to that. So yeah, and is it? Yeah, Mel Chase, that is actually really good life experience for them. It teaches them not to be entitled, yeah, and how to function and problem solve in the real world. It will help them more than harm them. Yeah, and I know I've been doing it the opposite way in some ways, but then in some ways they're more mature or they have more experiences. My kids are both really, actually all 6 of my children have been independent. My older 4 had chores, and my husband also was there to help back me up. These 2 did have chores, but like I said, the last several years, I've really let things lax because I've been running here and there. Like, okay, well, you know, I'll be back in a while and I'll do that. And that's why I've been staying home. I don't have to go anywhere right now. I'm not in a hurry for anything. Everything can wait. Like, really, you're either alive or you're dead. So now I've got to learn to live again. And I haven't done that in a long time. And it isn't going to be everybody's maid, you know. Never mind, I'm not going there. If you got teenagers, you know. Like, I've done this before. I got through it. Somebody's going to survive teenage years. And if it isn't them, it's definitely me, okay? So if there aren't any more questions or comments, I am going to put a link in here. Let me see. I know I got to find it because you got to have the thing here. It is a link for you to opt in. And let's see, bring myself back. And I'll post it at the top once I finish with this live. Or pin it. I think that's how you do it. I've been on here for a while. Let's see. Come on. I know I've got it in there. Doesn't want to do it. Oh, well. I'm sure my computer is just catching up. Huh. Okay, so there's that. And I want to say thank you to Christina Quick again for making this available in the Profitable Psychic Group and for holding 12 days of Christmas workshops again this year. This is actually, I think, number 5. I was counting the other day. It's 5 times I've done workshops, so this has been fun. And it, you know, and it really actually helps cheer me up because I haven't been like off the wall, but I haven't been down in the dumps. I've actually been pretty steady lately, so that's good. Oh, and I have a feeling I might have frozen. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, it's really helpful to me to at least talk to some other people, even though we're not in person. But I really like meeting everybody around the world. And you know, it shows that we're all the same. We all go through the same things, you know, maybe not at the same time and that. But I really like meeting people. I don't have a lot of people in person that I hang out with anymore, really. I've been so busy. I really have to get out there in person again and start meeting people. So I hope that today's workshop has helped you or at least gave you some suggestions. And I've got the link up, and if it's not showing up there, something's going on here, funny. And I will pin it, and I will also put it at the top there. And if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate, you know, even if you want someone just to talk to you and let it out about grief or what you're going through, you guys can direct message me, PM me, whatever you want to call it there on Facebook. Or you can send an email to me at oceana.power1@gmail.com. I get it. I really get it. And it's the only way, unless we help each other, you know, help each other understand things. And that's what I seem to do best. You know, I help people by listening. And yeah, I know we shouldn't be offering suggestions all the time unless they're warranted. And in my sistership circles, we don't offer suggestions in there unless somebody's asking for that. We get time to talk and state whatever the heck's bothering us, what we need to get off our chest. We have questions and that we do, or we have activities. They're fun. So if you guys want to know anything about sistership circles that I do, my vision board that I'm going to do in January, but I think everybody's doing one. It seems like I'm seeing there pop up everywhere, but so are these circles. But you know what? Everybody's different. And I hear that people have a lot of fun when they're doing them with me, you know, and the questions that it come up with, but it's intimate, and anything you say is not going anywhere. Kind of like Las Vegas, you know, what stays in Vegas, you know, they stay in the sistership circle. We call them a container. And I'm going to be doing more explaining about that in the next while. So if you want circles, vision boards, psychic circles, mediumship, I'm going to be doing 2 different ones, but with the psychic ones, I will be blending them. I'm going to do a better write-up for you guys, because everything's always in my head. I think everybody else understands. A lot of times I just don't say those things out loud, and it's like, why didn't you get that? So I've got to learn to talk out loud again. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and besides this free gift that you guys can opt in for, I wanted to offer a healing circle, which won't be it won't be recorded, but it's a healing circle that I want to do to hold in honor of those grieving and for your loved ones, okay, and your ancestors and that. I'm going to do it by Zoom. So if you guys aren't familiar with Zoom, I'll send you a link. Anyways, I have my own private rooms in that. So if you are interested in that, when you opt in, you can always, you know, hit the reply or whatever and email me something. But I'm gonna put out an email, maybe a survey. That one. I started SurveyMonkey a few weeks ago thing. So I will do that. And if you guys want to do it, I was thinking maybe just before Christmas or maybe after, you know, sometime during the holidays though, okay? And that I really think just to let some things go, maybe, you know, it'll help that way. So I am doing an outline for it, and I've got